Good morning, my friends, and welcome. For today, we'll continue developing that quality of interbeing in the hopes that as we come through this time of isolation and anxiety and come back out into a world where we can be with each other, hopefully more and more freely, we have tremendous opportunity building on what drew us into isolation, which is a mutual respect for one another, as well as safety ourselves, to mindfully grow in awareness to a much larger sense of the interbeing of all things. I know for me, I understood this word intellectually for a very long time. It made a lot of sense, and I could see it clearly, that what I do affects what you can do, and vice versa. But it has taken a while of mindful awareness in a serious and intentional way for me to absorb that sense of interbeing and to become more able to simply have it be part of what I see and feel when I look out into the world or into the eyes of someone dear to me, or the eyes of someone I don't even know, or someone who waits on me. The shift was in understanding that we affect one another at one level, and at another level, in a fundamental way, we actually are one another in a living and breathing whole that we call our world. This was a shift that simply came about after time of intentionally looking and attempting to practice that sense of interconnectedness and interbeing as I went through my daily life. Starts in the mind and ends in the heart, and manifests among us. So let us be seated for today, noticing the weight of your body in the chair that supports you, and how that chair supports you, and adjusting your body if there's any place where it feels uncomfortable, so that the chair can support you in a better way. Allow yourself to be aware as your breath comes into your body. As you draw that breath up and welcome it, noticing that without your intention to breathe all the way up, without your lungs, without your diaphragm, without the air around you that is breathable, none of that breath would take place. And breathing out, allow yourself to release for now anything in your mind that you're carrying that you don't need right now, and asking your mind to simply be an open, receptive, and connected space as you sit mindfully with the idea and the practice of interbeing. And in this last meditation on interbeing, at least for now, I want to offer you some more thoughts about everyday practice, everyday actions to broaden our sense of interbeing. The first one is quite familiar to you by now, if it wasn't before, and that is cultivating compassion. Not only have we lived through significant isolation during this pandemic, we are also living through and lived through significant political discord. And to mindfully notice how often we aren't motivated to feel the pain or to help others when they're not in our camp or in our group. They're in the out group, according to us. One way to mindfully connect in everyday life is to take the time to listen to someone whose perspective is radically different from your own, and someone who tends to bring judgment to the surface in you. And as you listen this time, imagine them as a little child. It's one of the ways we can step back from our adult judgments, remembering that we were both, at one time, 5 years old, and might have met each other on the playground or around the neighborhood that we shared. And when you hear that person today, whether it's a political bubble that's outside of your own, or someone whose values or way of being just kind of shakes you out of mindfulness. Practice breathing and listening and making eye contact as much as is possible for you at that time. Where do you have that opportunity in your life today to interconnect with curiosity and compassion with someone who disturbs you and your sense of what is right or acceptable to you? This is a hard practice, my friends, and it stretches us immensely when we practice it. You can even practice easily with someone who's speaking on the television. And in fact, that might be the most simple way to begin this practice, since you're all alone and they can't see you. There was a study out of Stanford University not long ago that showed that a single, approximately 10-minute conversation that took this kind of perspective and deep listening approach measurably reduced prejudice and separation for a period of almost 3 months. Our brains get rewired by how we choose to respond to what it is that we want to judge, to what gives us aversion. Like them or not, we are all interconnected. And here's a simple key in order to do that. Find similarities with the people that you most disagree with. I do this sometimes in the political arena, when I really am sick and tired of my own reactivity. And I take some deep breaths and begin to listen to why the person speaking feels or thinks as they do. Specifically with the virus and those who feel very strongly that we should or should not be wearing masks for protection. I listened until I heard that the concern of those who were saying, no, we don't need this, was simply, and many times, that the economy is dying from it, that we need to go out, that we are making a large deal out of a small deal, and by doing that, we are damaging the very structure of our society. Well, I can tell you, without mindful awareness, I would not have come across that kind of interbeing. And why is it interbeing? Because I agree. I too, I see the commonality, and I want our society to recover, our economy to recover, the people damaged to recover. And this is just one example of looking for a similarity at a higher level, a larger level, a values level, with people who cause us, so to speak, to react against them. For the most part, we all care about our families. We all care about our social connections. We all care about safety and security. So take some time this day to mindfully seek opportunities to get to know more about people who think radically differently than you do. Continue to listen to them and breathing gently and slowly until you become able to answer the question, what do I have in common with this person? Beyond the fact that at one point we were both 5-year-old kids. But that's not a bad place to start, just to get the wheels turning. Remember these words from the inauguration. And so we lift our gazes not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. Let us go out and carry that with us today. And notice those opportunities to interbe. It all starts with us, planting our seeds and letting them grow. Go out and look and be and interbe. Namaste. Amen.